The Baltimore Ravens continue to add to this offensive line depth. They just signed a veteran swing tackle from the Rams. We'll dive into those details. Rookie minicamp also started today. They didn't have a public practice. That'll be tomorrow and Monday, but we did get some contracts signed and the rookie jersey number. So we're going to dive into all those details in this episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. So the Ravens continue to add to this offensive line. They attacked it heavy in the draft. They attacked it with some undrafted free agents, and now they just signed veteran swing tackle Joseph Noteboom from the Los Angeles Rams. He spent his entire 8-year career with the Rams, played at both guard spots and both tackle spots, so very versatile lineman, mainly played left and right tackle, but he has had some run at guard. He's played in 71 career games and had 35 starts. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 this season. The Ravens just signed him to a 1-year deal. This immediately becomes the Ravens swing tackle, veteran swing tackle, basically replacing what Josh Jones' role was last year. And the Ravens have been looking at some swing tackle options. They had George Fonten and Noteboom over the last month, and they decided to go with Noteboom. And I think this is actually good for the rookies. Now, the competition's going to be absolutely insane to make this roster. It just got even harder because I would imagine Noteboom probably has a decent chance of making the roster since he's played so much in the NFL and the Ravens just gave him a 1-year deal. You know, you never know. He definitely could get cut, but I would say he's going to be on the roster. He's going to be active like Josh Jones was last year. So this takes a lot of pressure off rookie Carson Vincent, who's also a swing tackle, mostly known as a developmental swing tackle. You know, nobody really thought that Vincent would come in and get any type of meaningful minutes because he is a true tackle. We obviously have Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten. So Vincent just needs to develop, and now I think he can develop without any pressure. You know, even if there is an injury, God forbid, to Ronnie or Roger, a guy like Noteboom now, I know it's not the most glorious option. You know, his numbers haven't been incredible the past few years, but he's a backup tackle. And with a backup tackle, you just need somebody that can come in and kind of hold the fort down, hopefully short term. And I feel like Noteboom can do that. He's got a ton of NFL experience. And hopefully we don't have to see much of him at all. You know, hopefully we have incredible health across the entire team. But it helps to have a veteran presence on the offensive line who could fill in if needed. And I think Noteboom brings that. He also brings an extreme amount of versatility. Even if we needed guard help, he has played guard before. I think he's truly a swing tackle, so he would be mainly left or right tackle. But regardless, this is a smart signing. The Ravens are obviously addressing the depth of the offensive line. The competition this offseason is going to be insane. And while it frees some pressure off of Vincent, I think this move truly shows that the Ravens are going to give Emery Jones Jr. a true look at guard. I think Emery Jones Jr. is going to push Voorhees and Falele for the starting job. I'm not saying he's going to win it. I don't know. We haven't even seen these guys practice or play at all. You know, we'll have a better idea in the preseason and throughout training camp, but there's going to be competition, as there should be. You know, let the best man win. This is all we asked for, was to stack this offensive line, add as much competition and depth as possible, and let the best man win. It's going to raise everybody's play on this team, especially on this offensive line. Everybody's going to be playing harder because they got a young guy breathing down their neck. And while Vincent, I don't think, is going to get a ton of playing time, and he's truly just going to be developing for a year, Emery Jones Jr. is right behind Voorhees and Falele, and I wouldn't want it any other way, man. I like what he brings to the table. I'm excited to see what all these guys got, if anyone took a leap this year. I think this offensive line is as deep as it's been in recent memory, and that's a perfect equation for the Ravens heading into this year because we have to protect Lamar. We have to create running lanes for Derrick Henry. The offensive line was decent last year, but Lamar got out of a lot of pressure that most quarterbacks wouldn't get out of, which would have made our offensive line statistically look way worse. If you go back and rewatch the games and just look at the guard play from us last year, it was extremely inconsistent. That is a weak point on our offensive line. And I'm not saying Voorhees and Falele can't up their games this year after having their first year last year. They could come in and dominate and be the starters. That's fine. That's awesome, man. I just want them to be better. And I think having an Emery Jones Jr. behind you and having so much depth on the offensive line, they're going to be better. Or if a different guy's better for the job, they're going to go get the job. So I think this is a great equation. We've been saying it, stack the trenches. The Ravens are stacking the trenches, especially the offensive line. Now, today was the first official day of rookie minicamp. They didn't practice. If they did practice, it wasn't open to reporters or anybody. But tomorrow and Monday, they have open practice. So we're going to see a lot of highlights, a lot of footage. We're going to get some reports of how people are looking. We're going to see some Wester versus Kone matchups. You know, the rookies are going to be going at it. We're going to see what the undrafted free agent rookies look like. It's going to be exciting these next 2 days. We're going to get some footage finally. But today we got most of the contracts signed. Mike Green and Malachi Stark still have not signed their contract officially. Every other rookie from the class has signed, and we got some jersey numbers. So let's go through these jersey numbers and I'll give some thoughts. I think they're a little odd, honestly. I think that's my initial thoughts, is these are odd jersey numbers. But at the end of the day, who really cares? Because if you go out and ball out in that jersey and cement your name in this league, then that number becomes cool all of a sudden, you know? So at surface level, I think a lot of these numbers are a little different, but it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I'm excited just to see what jersey these guys are going to be in, and they could always change as guys get cut later in the offseason, or even like next year. Like, guys change their numbers all the time. We saw that with Hollywood Brown, came in at 15, switched to 5. I mean, there's numbers that are going to open up that other people might want. But this is where we're at right now. Malachi Starks, number 24. That's what he wore in college. I don't think he's going to change that. I think that's a great number for him, and he's probably going to keep that. Mike Green goes with 45, which instantly makes me think of Jalen Ferguson, man. Rest in peace to Jalen Ferguson. This is always an interesting pass rush number when a guy's like in the 40s. I don't know at first glance if this was the number that I dreamed of for Mike Green, but like I said earlier, man, you could always switch, or Mike Green goes out and dominates, and 45 all of a sudden is cool, man, and everybody wants a 45 jersey. So I'm not hating on any of these numbers. They're just numbers, and these guys have, you know, their play to define their career, not their jersey number. But Mike Green goes with 45. Third round pick Emery Jones Jr., 51, which is looking like a guard number, man. I'm telling you, Emery Jones Jr. is going to push for the starting guard spot. And then we got Teddy Buchanan wearing number 40. We got Carson Vincent at 71. I like that number for him. Bilal Kone, 31. Tyler Loop, 33, which is very interesting for a kicker wearing number 33. I guess we're very used to single digit kicker numbers, I feel like, and seeing 33 is definitely odd. I'm wondering if he'll change that. If Tucker ends up getting cut, 9 will be available, but I don't know if that's the move. That might not be the move, at least not for the next few years, or it needs to be a completely different position. I don't think another kicker can come in and wear 9. You know, a different position maybe. I don't think the Ravens are going to retire the number. We'll see, but I don't see another kicker wearing 9, at least in the short term. 33 is definitely an interesting choice, but it is what it is, man. Go out there and bang some field goals. I'm good with it. LeJohntay Wester, 83. I like this. This is like a classic wide receiver number. I could see him getting a single-digit number, but we'll see. I don't mind 83 at all. Anise Peebles with 93. This is one of the best numbers, I think. I think this fits his position, and I really, really like Anise Peebles, man. I hope that he is everything he was in college, because the Ravens are about to get an explosive player and at extreme value in the 6th round. And then we got Longer Beam with 37 and Garrett Dellinger with 74. It's just cool to see the guys get their jersey numbers. They are officially Ravens. The majority of them signed their contract today. Malachi Starks and Mike Green will sign it soon, and we'll get to see a lot of these guys out on the field tomorrow and Monday, so I cannot wait for that. I will be making videos. We'll have some highlights. I cannot wait to see how these rookies look going against each other. And it is going to be an absolute battle. This is probably the hardest season to make the Ravens roster in recent memory. I mean, most of their roster's kind of set. It's pretty stacked. This is a full roster, and adding 11 rookies, I don't know if all 11 are going to make this team. You know, I think maybe only one of the corners make the team. I'd be shocked if both corners make the team, but we'll see how they all look. I'm speaking way too early, but it just seems unlikely. Even Eric DeCosta said in his press conference, we don't have 11 spots. And then you're signing a guy like Noteboom, who's a veteran swing tackle, who's probably going to be on the roster. That just took one spot away again, you know, and I don't think the Ravens are done in free agency. We're probably going to be looking for a bigger nose tackle and bringing in another veteran potentially. So I don't know how many spots are actually going to be available. This is going to be an absolute show throughout this offseason, throughout camp, training camp, preseason. And as a fan, that's exciting, man. That's all you want, because that is going to make this team so much better. And this is a pretty full roster. The Ravens don't have a lot of holes. So let's go out there, let's compete, and let's start this journey to a Super Bowl, man. We need it. But that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you're thinking about the signing of Noteboom, bringing in a veteran swing tackle. Let me know what you're thinking about these jersey numbers and what sticks out to you. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.